Brought to you by Dogra A1 Digital Hearing Aid Center Jammu, offering special discounts for senior citizens and reimbursement scheme for government employees. Hello viewers, you're watching Jammu Links News. I'm Anak Gupta and welcome to the daily updates of Midday News. Let's begin. Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday recorded 1,235 fresh COVID-19 cases, raising its tally to 66,261, while 18 more fatalities pushed its death count to 1,042. It was for the 20th consecutive day that the number of fresh cases crossed 1,000 in a 24-hour period. Jammu district reported the highest number of 253 new cases, followed by 210 in Srinagar district. There are 21,485 active cases as of now, while 43,734 patients have recovered. Continuing his public outreach program at Jammu, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha met former ministers, ex-legislators, political leaders and public delegations at Raj Bhavan and took stock of their concerning issues and grievances. The Lieutenant Governor also assured the members of the delegations to take up the issues projected by them for consideration on merit. With a spike of 83,347 new cases and 1,085 deaths in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 count stood at 56,46,011 on Wednesday. According to the Union Health Ministry, this includes 9,68,377 active cases and 45,87,614 cured and discharged or migrated patients. The death toll in the country due to the infection has reached 90,020. The Lok Sabha on Tuesday passed a bill under which Kashmiri, Dogri and Hindi, apart from the existing Urdu and English, will be the official languages in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Introducing the Jammu and Kashmir Official Languages Bill 2020, Minister of State for Home G. Krishna Reddy said it was a demand of the people of Jammu and Kashmir that the language they speak should be the official language. The minister pointed out that 53.26% of the population of Jammu and Kashmir speaks Kashmiri language. The Pakistan Army violated ceasefire by resorting to heavy firing and mortar shelling in forward areas along LOC in Kirni, Kasbah and Shahpur sectors in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district on Wednesday. The Indian Army retaliated befittingly. The Pakistan Army has violated ceasefire 37 times this month. Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board is devising new methods so that devotees who are unable to take a nearly 12-kilometer trek to the Holy Cave Shrine can still have the darshan while sitting at home. Working on the directions of Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha for optimum use of technological interventions to expand the reach, the Shrine Board is planning to launch a mobile app for devotees to have live darshan straight from the holy shrine of Sri Mata Vaishno Devi. The Jammu and Kashmir administration will install 150 CCTV cameras in Government Medical College Hospital, a dedicated COVID-19 facility here, to closely monitor its performance. Authorities have also directed top health officials that all non-symptomatic COVID-19 patients should be discharged after a 10-day stay in hospitals without any subsequent testing for the disease. Jammu and Kashmir Director General of Police Dilbag Singh on Tuesday visited the police component Srinagar, where he interacted with the Jawans and lauded them and the officers in handling difficult situations during the recent operations at Panth Chowk and Batmalu areas. The DGP held an officers' meeting and distributed the cash rewards and certificates of appreciation for commendable work done by the officers and personnel of the component. In a major development, the recently floated People's Movement for 6th Schedule for Ladakh, a powerful platform representing various politicians, religious and social organizations, on Tuesday announced boycott of the upcoming elections to the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council Leh. The LAHDC Leh is scheduled to go to polls on October 16th, the first such exercise in the region after Ladakh was carved out from Jammu and Kashmir and granted the Union Territory status on August 5th last year, following the abrogation of special status to the erstwhile state. Military Power Development and Information Department's Rohit Kansal on Tuesday chaired the first annual journal meeting of Kashmir Power Distribution Corporation Limited. Kansal also advised the company officials to work with zeal as their prospects of progress are much more than anywhere else. He asked them that the progress of company is proportional to the progress avenues of its employees. Advisor to Lieutenant Governor K.K. Sharma has said that requisite steps are underway for capacity building of teachers through various schemes and programs so that the quality of imparting education in tune with the modern methods and techniques is done, making the learning process holistic and innovative for students. The advisor was speaking at a review meeting convened to discuss the status of integrated multidisciplinary professional advancement course for teachers. It is a training program devised by NCERT for training of grade 2 and 3 teachers through a course designed to address the gaps in teachers or pedagogical skills of these teachers who have teaching experience of many years. A day after Indian and Chinese military commanders held the 6th round of talks to resolve the military standoff in eastern Ladakh, the two sides on Tuesday said they have agreed to stop sending more troops to the front line and refrain from unilaterally changing the situation on the ground. In a joint statement issued on Tuesday, India and China said they have agreed to earnestly implement the important consensus reached by the leaders of the two countries, strengthen communication on the ground, avoid misunderstandings and misjudgments, stop sending more troops to the front line, refrain from unilaterally changing the situation on the ground, and avoid taking any action that may complicate the situation. India on Tuesday successfully conducted the flight test of Abhyas, high-speed expendable aerial target vehicles from a test range in Odisha. The trial carried out by the Defence Research and Development Organisation from the integrated test range at Chandipur was tracked by various radars and electro-optic systems.